tension rocking the office of the U.S. appointed mayor of the Iraqi city of Fallujah. People in the area blaming the coalition, saying they've become targets because the mayor and other American-backed officials worked there. A civil defense officer says one person was shot and killed in the ensuing arguments. U.S. troops with their hands full trying to stop looters and dealing with violence in other parts of Iraq. In a Fox report now from Dana Lewis, live tonight in Baghdad. Dana?
Shepard, U.S. forces putting a stranglehold on the hometown of Saddam Hussein today, believing that it is being used as a launching pad against U.S. forces. Anyone trying to move in or out of that town are now being asked to obtain ID cards. Soldiers surrounded the town of Uja near Tikrit today. They sealed it off and asked 3,500 residents to report to police stations. Residents then had to point out houses where they live on satellite maps, receive the new ID cards, and only those with those new IDs will be able to enter the town. In Baghdad, some extra police spot checks today, extra checks near hotels where foreigners are staying, not only because of a series of bomb attacks this weekend and a rocket attack on the Al Rashid Hotel last Sunday, but also because of new threats, including some intelligence received by a number of different sources. Also, some stepped-up security checks on the roads in and out of Baghdad tonight. Several different types of leaflets have been distributed in Baghdad, warning of attacks on foreigners this weekend. There are calls for a national strike starting tomorrow to protest U.S. forces, and the leaflets have been also put out to residents of Baghdad, telling them don't dare open your stores or send your children to schools. They are calling tomorrow Resistance Day. Shepard.
Dana Lewis live this Saturday morning in Baghdad. The Secretary of Defense, Donald Rumsfeld, says increased violence over the past few days may be a one-time spike coinciding with the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Rumsfeld speaking at a dinner in Washington last night, saying that the battle being fought in Iraq is not an easy one.
The task in Iraq is difficult, it's dangerous. There's no question about that. It's complicated, and there have been setbacks and there will be setbacks, like those we experienced this past 3 or 4 days.
The Secretary adding that a lot of progress is being made as well. Be sure to watch Tony Snow's interview with Donald Rumsfeld this weekend on Fox News Sunday. The House of Representatives voting to give President Bush the $87 billion he wants for Iraq's reconstruction, and Afghanistan for that matter. Members say the United States cannot turn its back on its commitments to the people of Iraq and others. The Senate planning to approve the package on Monday and send it to the President to sign. The vote also includes money for rebuilding and military operations in Afghanistan. Japan says it will send troops to help the coalition in Iraq. The government says it wants to take a proactive stance and dispatch by the end of the year soldiers from its self-defense forces. But the troops may head to southern Iraq and steer clear of areas that have seen extra resistance and bomb attacks. That's because Japanese laws do not permit troops to become involved in hostilities overseas. Nearly 400 British soldiers getting medals for distinguished service in Iraq. One of them awarded Britain's second highest military honor, the George Cross, getting it for rescuing a wounded comrade after a friendly fire incident in which a U.S. plane mistakenly bombed British troops. Another soldier decorated for his work during a firefight with Iraqi forces near Basra. The head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog group says it's too early to tell whether Iran is complying with international demands. Iran has until today to prove that it has no secret nuclear arms program. Mohammed al-Baradei says the International Atomic Energy Agency still has lots of work to do. In Iran, thousands of hardliners protesting against a government decision to allow inspections of nuclear facilities. It's the latest ploy for running illegal aliens from Mexico. Who would think to look inside a television news truck? We'll tell you whether the Border Patrol was fooled. Terra firma, not quite firm enough in one city. A giant sinkhole opening and swallowing. We'll show you what happens next. And how about a glass of milk from a cloned cow to go along with that cloned beef burger? Actually, you can't get products from cloned animals yet, but should that change? The government has decided, as Fox reports tonight.
You're watching the Fox Report with Shepard Smith on Fox News Channel, the most watched, most trusted name in news.